Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Steve Chiama, and I'm the franchise owner for Action Coach here in Fairfax, Virginia. And I'm your host today of the Business Spotlight podcast. And today I have the pleasure to introduce Ramon Tejada, the co-founder and CEO of Fresco Inc., as my guest. And today we're going to talk about Ramon's business, his journey into business, challenges, best practices, and share a peek into what it's really like to build and operate a business. So if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop new shows like this. So Ramon, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here today. And if you would, please give us a little bit of background about who you are and tell us a little bit about your business.
Thank you, Steve. Really happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast. Ramon Tejada with Fresco, like you mentioned. My background, I'm originally from the Dominican Republic, got on a scholarship, went to Iowa for college, went back to the Dominican to apply those knowledge as a young professional here in the Dominican. And then a company helped me or requested me to go back to the States, offered me a job, and that's how I was able to go back to the States and work there. And then several years after that, we formed Fresco, which has been my life in the last 20 years.
And I'll bet that's been an adventure. 20 years is quite a time.
Yes, it has. Fresco, it's an apartment turnover and common area cleaning company in the Washington, D.C. area. And yeah, it's been a really, really fun drive.
I'll bet. I'll bet. That's fantastic. Tell me a little, let's give the listeners a little bit of context about the business. How is it structured? Are you a sole owner at this point? Are there business partners? Are there investors? How are you driving the financial structure of this business so far?
We're a family owned and operated business. I own a majority of the business, and my sister Catherine owns the rest. She handles the day-to-day operation. She's works on the operation side, and I work more on the strategic. I call myself a chief optimizer, which is what I love to do, and that's what I do all day long. Doing small improvements to the operation on a day-to-day. Yes.
Talk a little bit more about that. So I can see strategic at a very high level out looking for more opportunities. And you just implied something that looking inside at where can we gain efficiencies kinds of thinking. Where do you fit your attention?
Yeah, that I think it's a superpower for an entrepreneur, and it's that capacity of zooming in and zooming out. So we work on the strategy, making sure everybody is aligned all the
Good.
time, from bringing person that could align with that opportunity, and also bring and actually shape that alignment, that strategy. So that's a big part of making sure that we are all focused, including me, of course. Entrepreneurs, it's easy for us to wander around and trying to implement new things all the time. So making sure that I'm focused, the whole team is focused on the strategy, and that we have a strategy that works, especially with all the changes in the marketplace, all the needs that our clients are going through right now, all those changes, making sure that we're aligned, and that the whole team is aligned with that. And then zooming in and actually helping everybody implement that strategy. That's where I think it's most important. That ability to see the big picture and to actually focus on that, and then being able to work side by side with them, doing improvements on everything that we do, making sure that we are that everybody has the tools and are able to implement that.
The word that comes to my mind is a Japanese word, kaizen, which I've heard translated as constant and never-ending improvement. Does that kind of fit the philosophy of what you're trying to follow?
For sure, for sure. That is it. That is it. I think doing minor improvements every day prevents you from having to stop something and then directing to a different. And that right there, it's probably the trick of not having to go back or feeling that you're starting from zero and the whole organization is going through those changes. So yeah, that's a great word. I'll copy that.
Yeah, I picked that up someplace along the line. Yes, it's a good one. Good.
Awesome,
Let's talk a little
awesome.
bit about who you serve. You mentioned apartment complexes. Um, are there others that you serve, and how do you serve them?
Yeah, most of our revenue comes and our focus is from really understanding the needs of the multifamily industry. We do a lot of contract cleanings. We do the janitorial part, the common area cleaning, and also the turnovers, which has been great for us because it's many companies. That's where many multifamily operations are struggling with the turnover cleaning, making sure that those are done correctly on time. But we also serve the outpatient industry and some office work as well in the Washington, D.C. area. We also do minor government work as well. But our bread and butter is the multifamily, and that's what we have been focusing on, really learning that and able to serve them well.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
And what way makes you unique? I've got to imagine there are other people in that same niche. What makes you unique? Why is it you that they want to call?
Yeah, the service, quality of service is what everybody would mention at that point. For
Hmm.
us, there's one thing that has helped us provide outstanding service to them, and it's that we focus on the admin side to be very light on the admin side, have a lot of tools, systems in place so that we don't have to cut corners on the supervision on working with the cleaners. That amount of supervision that we provide that for some clients we're there weekly, 3 times a week, it's what clients see as something that is not happening anymore on our industries, where clients, the cleaners complain that they don't know who they work for, or has been several months since the company supports them on supervision tools, monthly delivery of all the materials that they need for the cleaning, and of course tons of training on their apps, and also physical training. So that being so close to them and being able to spend so much time on the supervision side, and then being able to push that the admin work that we have been able to be so efficient with, so that we are there on the ground. So that translates to better service, happier cleaners, because we can pay them a little bit more. We, in every contract that we take over, we are able to pay, sometimes it might be $1, $2 more from what the cleaners were making on that contract. Being very close to them, I think being Hispanic also helps. Big majority of our cleaners are on the Hispanic community, and also helps us with the language and everything. Also to be very close to them and provide all the help that they need, and keep them happy so that they can do a good job. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. How does that compare with competitors? I don't want to get into names of people, but how does that compare with what the competition does?
Yeah, in the sense, most of what we hear is they're not here enough. They don't come to supervise. So that translates into not being in touch with what the building actually needs, not being able to respond. Sometimes the building, if there's a change in the building front desk and things like that, since
Mm,
the company is not there often enough, they might lose a
mm,
little bit of touch on the day-to-day communication or who to call. There's also a person assigned to each contract, so they're very close to the point of contact in that location as well. And that our quality, we always want our quality standards to be higher than the building. So if we go there and supervise, even if the client is not complaining, has not complained in a while, if it's not up to our standard, we do not, that's a complaint on our side. And most of the time we're able to, before, of course, we get a complaint or a client, we don't, I guess the summary is we don't delegate the supervision of the quality of our contract in our client. And that's a very common topic in our industry.
Oh, I think that's a common topic in a lot of service industries. I think, yeah. So you're trying to be there ahead of time.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Kind of changing gears a little. What inspired you to choose this business to go into as opposed to all of the other choices that there are out there?
Steve, I wish I had a very romantic story about that, but it's the reason most people get into cleaning, and it's barrier to entry. We were.
That's a perfectly good reason.
Yeah. We had a big a plan for a big logistics operation where we were going to use the dead cargo of truckloads going long distances, and 20 years ago that sounded really cool and no one was doing it. So we would develop this app that people could log in. The drivers would log the availability of cargo, and people would, that coordination, that was our whole business. At that point, we calculated that it would take more than $100,000 to do it, and a lot of
That's a barrier of entry.
hiring an engineer for programming, help with we had the whole business plan around it. But Miguel, my partner and co-founder at the time, we at some point decided that it was just much easier to start getting dirty and actually putting the work to our planning and go and do the job. So we started cleaning houses on Sundays for friends and family, and we had a business. So I'm really glad we were, instead of spending 5 years or maybe never doing, and just planning and talking about doing, I'm very proud of that moment that we decided to take our weekends and nights and start cleaning houses and being able to form this business. Yeah.
Now the way you express that story, you've done something different than a lot of people. You actually sat down and built a plan and asked yourself the serious question, does this plan make sense?
Yes.
And decided to go a different way.
That's not something that I really never thought about it, but yeah, you're bringing a point that hits home for sure.
Yeah, you sit down and think through, is this a direction that makes sense?
Yes.
I don't like that. That's how many people do that?
Yeah, I think it's very easy to focus on that idea and that idea be big enough that it would be too hard for you to implement, and that would be the excuse for you not to start. Yeah.
So going kind of a little bit further along that path, what were you looking for yourself out of this adventure? Because this is a commitment, a time commitment, a financial commitment. What were you looking for?
Yeah, in the company that we worked on, we believe there were a lot of things that should be implemented or that we wanted implemented that could make the business better. and not having that ability to implement was the to me was that spark that told me, that could only be done if you do it, if you're having that leadership to be able to change things in an organization. I was in management position, but I still thought that the way I thought that business should be run, it wasn't being run that way. It was, so that was a big part. Money was also a motivator. You would, when you run your numbers and your business plan, you would think, of course, you would think of much more money than what actually we did the first couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got a really big pay cut those couple of years, the first 2 years.
Yeah, I'll bet.
So yeah. But in our mind, we thought that we would be rich on the first 2 years at that point. So yeah, that was also a motivator. But my biggest thing, my spark was that ability to having those ideas and not being able to implement it. That was eating me alive. So yeah.
It is a frustration, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that made me develop that ability to see it in my team, so that my team, we talk all the time that you can, if you want to implement something, if you want to start a business, you could start your business in Fresco. You could implement that idea here, and many of of the things that we do are coming from the people that work here that are actually. I think we give them that freedom, and should give, each day we should focus even more on that.
Isn't that exciting when you can get the team that engaged, that excited to contribute in that kind of way?
Yes, yeah, that is awesome. We have profit distribution here for the staff, and in the beginning, it was hard for me because I thought we were distributing profits to the whole team, and many of the team did not react to that on the way that I should. Then I realized that I had a combination of not the right people in some places.
Yeah.
There are people that just do not get motivated that way, and also the way that we were implementing it. Was way too long for someone as an employee that is used to bi-weekly paychecks to have to wait 6 months to be able to see if they're gonna make any profits or not. So that was a huge disconnection. Once we connected that to directly to them, and they can see it on every invoice that we receive, then they picked it up right away. Yeah.
Connecting the dots in between.
Yeah.
Doing this leads to that.
Exactly. So in our case, every time a client pays and that invoice get registered, I get a notification. Every one of us get a notification. You'll get this to your distribution account. It's not distributed yet. We have to earn it, but they see that client already attributed something to their pay right away. And sometimes you get 10 notifications, 20 notifications in one day, and that really helps. It might be a low amount, but that is a connection. I feel the whole team is really connected into appreciating the client, feeling that client, every time that client pays, they get something out of it, but also feeling more like an entrepreneur within a business, not an employee, I guess, and that really helped. Yeah.
What triggered that insight? That's an amazing insight. What triggered that insight?
Yeah, it was that disconnection. I felt that we're distributing money here, and people are not connecting. I don't feel people did any change. There wasn't an improvement in sales. There wasn't an improvement on that drive to really make things happen, make changes in the organization. Not like an entrepreneur, not like I am. So having that connection, I had to let go at least two people at that time that I know they would not motivated. They didn't have any entrepreneurial spirit. But
Hmm.
in our organization, that's very important. We feel that's the way to serve our clients better, especially in the cleaning industry.
Have you found that has impact on the commitment individuals have to the company?
Yes, definitely, definitely that, and you see it when people really, even from another department, bring you an idea of a sale, something that we can do to make more sale, or someone that is on sale is trying to making sure that a client is not hurt during the service process, and calls another department, without me not even knowing, and they're trying for the company to get better. Or if we're doing an activity, like a book donation or any other, cleaning up a place or something, and everybody is very present without making any money because they just want the whole business to get better, and or helping a coworker when someone is on vacation. The head of BD is on vacation, and you see someone from finances or from marketing trying to prepare a proposal, and that's, you only see that if you see them that they're connected, those small things. Yeah, easy to
Yeah,
say,
no,
much harder done to see it done.
this is that's an amazing insight. I love that. It's so rare for people to see people who see that exact connection. That's a wonderful connection.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of that. Thank you. I'm happy that you see it that way too.
Picking up from that, and maybe different or maybe the same, what has been one of the more memorable hurdles you guys have had to cross on this journey?
Yeah. For many, I think us, as of many other people, it was that pandemic. It was, yeah, it was that making that change. Office work really stopped. Locally, about a year before, we had been focusing a lot on multifamily, and of course,
Hmm.
multifamily had to start. They actually had much more needs to keep every lobby, doors
Yeah.
disinfected and things. It was a huge thing. Um, but that transition, losing some of our office work, and making sure everybody was safe, but everybody had to get to their workplace in many instances. Um, so yeah, that was huge for us, keeping
So that
everybody.
was your pivot to go from office work to multifamily work.
Yeah, actually, a year before we decided to go a lot more, but that was, like you said, that was our pivot to make sure that we focus much more on that industry. Yeah. So, but luckily we were a year ahead, at least on our minds, and some of the systems and the services and everything. We were already prepared for that. So we grew much more on that. We got a couple very large accounts in the DC area after that. Yeah.
Very good, very good. So let's look ahead a little bit. What do you see in the future in the next 5 or 10 years or so?
It's very interesting. AI is there,
Mm.
and with that, we're starting to see some vacuuming automated equipment being used.
Hmm.
So, in part of our job, I think our job is not going to be one of the first to be replaced for sure. But there's going to be part of our job as a cleaner that is going to be replaced, especially on flat surfaces, floors, and carpet, which is the biggest part of our industry. And we're already switching to making sure that we're able to install and supervise that equipment. So we're getting trained and investigating a lot. Have done some small pilot tests on vacuuming and things like that, because we know that that's coming. So that's going to be a big change. Also, admin work. We have to make sure that we are ahead of the curve, because the property managers delegate that admin on us, and we want to make sure we're as thin as possible on the admin work so that we don't have
Yeah.
to charge them for that.
Yep.
But the cleaners still have the support. So I think the organizations that right now write their own emails and stay a lot in front of their clients are gonna be
Yeah.
ahead. I don't
Yeah.
believe I think we should focus much more now in that, especially client facing time, time in front of the client. That's something that we have to make sure we cut all that we can in the admin work so that we can be more on the road, on the buildings, and then that we learn how to use automated cleaning equipment. Those are gonna be basic for our industry. I think if we do that right, we have a bright future ahead of us.
This takes me all the way back to something you said right at the beginning, that you were in a more strategic role. Having a person that can be strategic and looking over the entire process, as opposed to having their head in the work itself, makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. I do. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but I spend a lot of time in the Dominican Republic. I'm here right now in the Dominican Republic, and I wanted to do that. That's some goal that I wanted to have, to be able to spend some time back home. So that
Hmm.
pushed me into building a lot, and also pushed
Hmm.
me out of my comfort zone because I felt that I needed to do what Fresco needed, not just my strength. So I have trained myself a lot to make sure that my job as the CEO and optimizer, and I can do that zoom in and out. So I remind myself every day that you have to make sure you go to DC and go to a client, get trained, work with a cleaner, talk to them, but also push down and do strategic job, which is a lot of what I do when I'm here, which is a lot of research and what the market is turning, what things are going, and making sure that we transfer that into the team. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Um,
Yeah.
this is awesome. This is a very good reflection on where it should go. Do you see yourself looking to expand beyond just I'm going to say the DMV kind of area?
We have a lot more to go on the DMV area. Um, we don't foresee in the short future going out of the DMV. We feel there's plenty of work there and plenty of people to serve. We're just on the multifamily industry. We just begin to do painting. So we're doing a turnover paint for them, some handyman work,
Good.
um, and the full turnover. So we're taking that out of the hands of the property manager to make sure that they can just call that someone left this unit, and we could go and actually take care of everything, so they can just focus on the marketing and management part, which is what they do best. And after that, we're looking at the healthcare industry, which we already are in, especially medical office buildings and outpatient facilities. So that's a big item for us, and office too. So I think I still see myself in the next 5 years in the DC area. We might be 3 times our size, but still there. Yeah, and I
Oh,
love
that
that
would be a
area. Yeah.
terrible thing.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, just came to mind that when for my scholarship, I was in Iowa in a community college, but my scholarship was sponsored by and managed by Georgetown University. So they would take us to Georgetown, to DC, back in 1997. So when I went to
Yep.
DC for the first time, it just caused that impression on me, the organization, and
Yeah.
it's just so many opportunities in that area, and I really, if I'm not in the Dominican, I'm there. So yeah, I see myself continue to grow in that area for sure.
Very good. We've danced around a little bit on this topic, kind of distantly, but I kind of you've got some insights. I think I want to kind of pick at one more little kind of insight area here, and that is recruiting process or maybe mindset.
Yeah.
Um, how do you choose and select people to bring on board?
Yeah, that's a big one, and especially for not especially, I guess everyone management have a big impact on how the people that you hire on leading the company, for sure. So what we do is there's the curriculum, and there's it's really easy for you to focus on the technical abilities of that person and their training and what they did at the last job, but we focus on integrity. So that's the first part of our process. It's making sure that integrity is there, that that person um, is a good person, that it's
Hmm.
also a person that wants to do what they say they would do and can prove that in different situations. So there's a lot of questions back and forth related to integrity, and then making sure that they align with the team, and also that they bring something that we might be missing. For example, we hire someone on the business development side. We focus a lot on operations, and most of the business that we get has been through referrals.
Hmm.
And we didn't have that mentality, that business development mentality ingrained. So we knew we were missing that, and after we found someone with integrity, that was the next thing that we were looking for. Um, so yeah, and we look for people long term. We
Hmm.
believe a lot on that. So yeah, a person that could stay, that could learn from us. Yeah,
So you've picked a culture standard in essence, and what you're looking for is people that you can fit into that culture so that we are all on the same playbook right from the beginning.
definitely, definitely. Ego doesn't play very well in Fresco. So we look for people that are big on making their ideas win based on the merit of their ideas, not on their ego. And I think that's, yeah, that's very, you can see it when you talk. You're gonna have a chance probably later on. We love to for us to get to know us better. And you'll see the team. You see what I'm talking about there. It's just very nice people that can work by themselves and that can get things done. That you don't have to watch over them, and that really can
Yeah.
connect with a higher purpose that is just not money. Yeah.
Now I'm going to ask a strategic question. Hmm.
Okay, let me put that hat on.
Yeah. If you started your business over again today, knowing what you know now, is there anything big you'd have done differently?
Huh. Yeah, I'll probably do many things. One of them, I would realize it's much more work that we need to put together than what I thought I did. So I'll be prepared for that. Um, Also, the ability to build systems from the beginning and to do a little bit more research. Our lives has been much easier after we do much more system building than
Yeah,
just putting out fires. And the
yeah,
first couple of years of Fresco, we were just young and being able to put up with a lot of long hours and running around and so yeah, uh, more planning and building more systems, and being able to look out a little bit more forward and building those systems and making things easier for us. Yeah, I would definitely do that.
you are sharing essentially a great primer for anybody who is early in the game, what are some big rocks to be paying big attention to right from day one? Uh, this has been some really good insights. However,
Thank you, Steve.
I want to respect your time too. So I want to start to head towards wrapping up, and let's hit a few rapid fire questions just to play around and see what else we can have some fun with.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
what would you say has been your key to success?
It has been hard work, for sure. Being able to be, I'm gonna switch that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's being persistent. Uh,
Mm,
there have been just so many times where quitting was much easier, where I would just
mm,
make more money not doing this, but it was just about there is a way where this would work, and being able to be really persistent with
hmm.
everything we've taken on. Yeah. So persistency, I think is that a good word? Being
Yeah, that's a
persistent.
great
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
very good. If you and I were having coffee at the coffee shop down the street, and somebody walked in talking to his friend about a business that he was just starting up, what's one piece of advice you would want to share with him right now?
Yeah, I would tell them it's gonna be a lot of work, but
Mm,
it would pay off
hmm.
if they really want to. It's very rewarding to be able to do something, put an idea, and you see it flourish, and being able to work. Um, be very organized with the make sure that you respect the business money, and that is not yours, and making sure, yeah,
They're separate. Yes.
that's a big item.
Yeah.
Is you'll get money when the business have the ability to give it to you.
Hmm.
Otherwise, earlier on, especially, you don't have too much of a leverage. So yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that for sure.
Yeah, I love that way of putting it. That's a great way to put it. Awesome. What's a book you're reading now or have read recently that's had impact on how you're choosing to run this business?
Yeah, and before I go into that question, which is great, I also wanted to tell that person in that coffee shop that names, logos are not that big. Do not worry too much about that, and make sure that the personality of the business, the culture, is the most important thing to build in the beginning. Not a fancy name, or not a logo in the beginning. That's not as important.
In your kind of business where you've got people out facing customers, your people are your salespeople.
They are, they are
The culture
many.
that they live by is the reflection on is that a kind of company I would want to work with?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. They are the salespeople. They are actually the ones that talk to the property managers every day. So they are
Hmm.
the ones that say hello, and
Hmm.
go and clean their offices. So they are, especially in the multifamily, in the office space, they go at night, and sometimes
Hmm.
they do not talk to the clients that much. But in the
Hmm.
multifamily industry, they are our best salespeople. And what
Hmm.
we see from our cleaners is that many times they are the ones that tell, so my friend lives in that apartment or cleans another apartment that they're not very happy with that with the cleaning company, and that's a lot of the recommendations that we get is from them, because they want their friends to come and work for us, and that's I cannot say enough about that, how important that is, that they feel appreciated in this business, especially the cleaners, which we know they're not the most appreciated um, professionals out there. Yeah,
That takes us all the way back to the culture point, doesn't it?
of course. Yeah, right. Yeah, right on point.
Yeah, having the
Yeah,
right culture that creates the right impact on people they come in contact with.
yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, and I'm gonna go back to the book question to make sure that I answer that, and that is I usually read three or four books at the same time, but there's one
Hmm.
that calls my attention right away, and it's that This is Marketing with Seth Godin.
Yep.
The book is This is Marketing, and it talks about that how marketing could be done with integrity. And before that book, I would look at marketing like deceiving or and things like that. And after that, I found out that you can actually do good marketing, especially by adding value that works. Yeah,
You're talking about making marketing educational.
of course. Of course, yeah, yeah. I really like that. There's really when you focus yourself on that, you start to see the ability to, instead of making an ad, which you have to do, but you're
Hmm.
able to do, what if I'm going to make a video? Can I do some research and actually provide some value to that client?
Good.
Many times before I ask them to just purchase from me, which is sometimes you have to do, but that should be the smallest part of your marketing. It would
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
to be the ask. Yeah,
What's the value they're going to get from this? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And at least you spend some time trying to learn something or getting something that could help them make their life better. Yeah. I wish I could be the entertainer. That would be the best part, I think, about marketing, right? If you're very entertaining. But I think I'm more of an educator than an entertainer for sure.
Yeah, I think that probably has more value in it, actually. Entertainment is nice, um, but it doesn't solve the problem.
I agree. That's a good point, and that helps me
Hmm.
too. That helps me because
Hmm.
sometimes I think I should be more entertaining, but I think, yeah, if I'm able to at least give them more value
Hmm.
on training, on education, yeah. So yeah, thank you for that.
Very good, very good. You've had a great journey. You've learned a lot. You've done a lot. There's a
Thank you,
lot that
thank you. Yeah, I think so.
you've found your way through a lot of the issues, an awful lot of the issues. What would you say of this you're most proud of so far?
Um, yeah, the to be able to be an example for my kids,
Hmm.
it's it's my proudest moment. I come
Very good.
from very close to zero,
Hmm.
from eating plantains,
Hmm.
boiled plantains for dinner with maybe a very thin slice of salami,
Hmm.
and oil. That was my dinner many times,
Hmm.
for many years. To be able um, to to have a better life and actually to have financial independence and being able to be that example for them, I cannot ask anything more for life. And yeah, I'm very happy for that and very proud of. I can say I'm proud of me for that. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. If I flip that question around and ask the question, if you had a magic wand and you could fix one thing in the business today, what would it be?
Yeah, if I had that, um, I would I would help people see the cleaner as the essential professional that they are. Um, yeah, and be able to appreciate what they do more. Not just say it, not just talk about it
Hmm.
nice, but actually
Mean it.
being able mean it. Yeah, mean it, and
Hmm.
actually see their work for what it is. It's a profession that takes some years to learn. Some of the cleaners have
Hmm.
to take 3 or 4 5 years to be able to do a good job, and so it is a professional. It's very hard work,
Hmm.
um, so and not very rewarding. Sometimes you
Hmm.
get really unnoticed.
Hmm.
Yeah, and you just have to think about what a building will look like if you don't clean it for
If it
a month.
wasn't being done, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So if I had, and when we're on that way, on that journey. I know it's going to take some years, but we're doing a little bit of a dent on that. So yeah, but if I have a magic wand, I would accelerate that process. Really.
Good,
Yeah.
good, good, good. Most important question. How can people that want to know more about Fresco and about you get in touch?
Yeah, through our website,
Mhm.
frescoinc.com. That would be our first. Fresco Inc. on LinkedIn, and we're on LinkedIn very active, and also Instagram, Facebook, or any of the web pages. But frescoinc.com would be our first way.
Very good, very good. Last question. What's most inspiring to you today?
Yeah, I want to make sure I don't get sentimental with that, but I was speaking with one of our cleaners, and she doesn't know how to read or write. She does
Hmm.
awesome work cleaning apartments. We're actually looking to put her on a contract, but right now she's doing turnovers, so she has to go to different places every day. Pretty much is a different location. So she has a grandkid that lives with her, and when we send her the job that she's gonna be doing, she would go the day before with her grandson so that she learns what metro to take and get there so that she can get there next day. So sometimes I would complain about my monitor not being big enough, or anything, any minor thing, and you realize how strong you have to be so that that your ability to get ahead in life will take you to positively, wanting to take that job. So even though you don't know how to read and write, and you can still make it in life. So yeah, that was extremely inspiring to me to get. I got on the car. She got on the car with us, and we were going from one place to another, and she told me that on the way. And yeah, I don't think I would ever forget that.
That's a statement about commitment on her part, isn't it?
It is, and she would do that very positively, very very happy, and she just does a great job. Yeah. So we're
Oh,
very
that's
motivated
awesome.
to get then to move her to the next account that we open. At least she only had to learn it once for many years.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
yeah, I can see why that's inspiring. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's great. This has been a great conversation. You shared some amazingly helpful points. Um,
Thank you, thank you.
you've brought up a great number of things that so many people either haven't gotten to yet or have missed. So I really appreciate what you've shared. And to everybody watching, go back and listen to what Ramon's had to share with us, because there have been some really good points here, some really insightful uh, discoveries. I mean, just thinking about the compensation plan that you talked about is a very unique way to approach that challenge, and
Yeah,
and that's a great point. So
thank
to
you.
everybody watching, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you can get notifications every time we drop a show like this one. Thank you to everyone who's joined us today, and especially thank you to Ramon, who brought some really great insights to us. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for inviting me. Really appreciate your time.